Just a year ago, Olivia had been living a life of quiet satisfaction, married to James, the man she met in a modest mail-order company. They had shared dreams and built a home together, or so she believed. But the cracks had started to show, and the first tremor of change came not from the markets she so meticulously watched but from within the walls of her home. As the days unfolded, Olivia would find herself on a journey of betrayal, resilience, and ultimate liberation, proving that even in the darkest times, a new dawn awaits those brave enough to seek it. Let's start the story. Olivia, my dear, the bread we have isn't entirely up to par. Could you take a look at it? What's wrong with it? A new oven could solve our problem. I've seen some fantastic ones for sale recently. I'll discuss it with Mrs. Emily. My name is Olivia, and I'm 35 years old. I trade Forex from home as my full-time job. I met my husband, James, 2 years older than me, when we both worked at a small mail-order company. He handled pet food, and I was in customer service for cosmetics. The job was demanding and often kept us working late, but we looked forward to unwinding with coworkers over drinks once a week. Despite the grind and the decent paycheck, our only absolute joy came from these small gatherings. During these times, James and I began dating and married 3 years later. After getting married, I took a break from work and soon discovered Forex trading. I immersed myself in learning everything I could, buying books, and practicing online. It wasn't easy, but I dedicated myself to it and eventually developed a successful trading strategy. However, my in-laws now live with us and don't quite understand what I do. When my father-in-law retired, and considering their limited pension, my husband suggested they move in with us into our 3-bedroom condo, which I now pay for thanks to my Forex trading income. We assured them they were welcome and not to worry about expenses. I don't handle household chores as we have a housekeeping service. Mrs. Emily takes care of everything, including cooking, which is a massive help for us. I dedicate my days to mastering Forex trading and sharing my insights on blogs rather than tackling household chores. However, my in-laws, who initially understood when they moved in, changed their attitude after a few months. They started to question why I, being always at home, didn't engage in any housework, labeling my job as mere gambling and a trivial pursuit in front of a computer. These complaints were never directly addressed to me. I sensed their discontent through the indirect remarks they made to my husband. Since my husband no longer needs to worry about rent or living costs, thanks to my trading income, he has indulged in his love for fashion, donning custom suits and brand-name accessories. His newfound freedom to spend on luxuries has made him quite happy. He used to defend me against any grievances from my in-laws, but that has recently changed. He started critiquing me for always being on my computer, not wearing makeup, and sticking to sweatpants around the house, suggesting I should dress more appealingly at home. This took me by surprise. Why should I dress up and wear makeup to stay home? This led to a disagreement between us, with him expressing a desire for me to look cuter for him, a notion I found unnecessary and odd. Following this discussion, my husband began to echo my in-laws' complaints about me. One evening, I accidentally overheard a conversation among them, criticizing my arrogance and indifference to household chores. They speculated that I looked down on them for their previous living situation and believed I considered myself superior because of my income from Forex trading, which they dismissed as simple luck that anyone could replicate. They even tried to mock my appearance, questioning my self-worth. This entire situation has highlighted a rift in understanding and appreciation for what I do and the financial contributions I make to our household, casting a shadow over the dynamics within our family. I've been working from home for a while now, cherishing the mornings when my husband and I could enjoy breakfast together before he headed off to his job at the company where we both used to work. Unfortunately, he starts his day early, so he often returns late. Our breakfasts were a precious time for us, yet recently, he's begun skipping them, claiming he'd rather eat on the go or not at all. This change didn't go unnoticed by my mother-in-law, who criticized my husband's new habit with a sneer, suggesting that he was growing tired of having a wife who didn't perform her duties. I found this remark outdated, mainly because Mrs. Emily handles all our household chores efficiently, ensuring everything is in perfect order. My rebuttal that wife duties are outdated sparked a disagreement, particularly with my mother-in-law, who holds traditional views very dear. She couldn't understand my perspective, emphasizing the importance of fulfilling these roles regardless of our arrangements for housework. The fact that I was financing it didn't matter to her. She believed that bringing up financial contributions was inappropriate. Thanks to my financial support, I noticed my in-laws have been living comfortably without worrying about expenses. My mother-in-law, for instance, often socializes with neighbors, flaunting expensive designer bags. At the same time, my father-in-law dedicates a significant portion of his pension to his golfing passion, even purchasing new golf clubs. This spending puzzled me because I was covering all household costs, including rent. However, with nowhere else for my in-laws to go, I felt compelled to tolerate the situation. Around a month after my husband began missing our breakfasts, he started traveling more for work and became involved in a project to import leads from Thailand. These trips became increasingly frequent, often extending over weekends. As he ventured abroad, I was left to ponder the shifting dynamics of our household and the challenges of balancing personal ambitions with family expectations. I had plans to grab lunch with my friend Laura at an upscale Italian restaurant we both enjoyed. I had visited the place before with my husband, James. However, during our meal, we enjoyed some wine. Laura pointed out James exiting the restaurant with a woman. This was shocking because he was supposed to be on a business trip to Thailand. The woman with him was notably younger, and the sight reignited James's earlier remarks about wanting me to look cute for him. The realization that James might be unfaithful led me to hire a private investigator to investigate his actions. Meanwhile, at home, I noticed increased packages arriving for my mother-in-law. When I asked her about it, she defensively wondered if she needed my permission to shop. She had developed a penchant for online shopping, particularly for designer bags and accessories. However, her excitement seemed misguided, as many online deals are too good to be true, often resulting in fake products. One day, she came to me concerned about her latest haul, 5 bags she bought at a suspiciously low price, fearing they might be counterfeit. Indeed, upon inspection, the bags were imitations. I advised her to attempt to return them, but contact with the seller proved impossible. The phone number was disconnected, and emails went unanswered. She had spent $3,000 through a bank transfer on a site that seemed legitimate but offered designer items at unrealistically low prices, with no option for cancellations or refunds through her bank. I warned her about the risks of buying designer goods online, especially when the deals seemed too good to be true. However, my advice seemed to fall on deaf ears as she dismissed my concerns, highlighting a gap in understanding the nuances of online shopping and the importance of caution. After a peaceful dinner on Sunday, my work on Forex trading was abruptly interrupted by my father-in-law. He had recently been golfing with old friends who shared some skepticism about Forex trading, painting it as a scam filled with deceitful promises of easy money. His confrontation was based on misinformation, assuming that since I was involved in Forex, I might be engaging in similar deceptive practices. Despite my explanations, he doubted my integrity, thinking my success was too good to be true, especially since he saw his efforts in business as more legitimate hard work. I tried to assure him that my trading activities were legitimate and that I wasn't duping anyone, but my explanations fell on deaf ears. He even questioned if we could manage our expenses without my Forex income, to which he confidently claimed he could cover at least the rent. This discussion highlighted a lack of understanding and appreciation for the financial stability my trading provided us. The next day brought more distress as the results from the private detective confirmed my husband James's affair with a younger coworker, a woman I hadn't met since she joined the company after I left. Amidst processing this betrayal, my situation at home reached a boiling point. That evening, after the housekeeping service had left, my mother-in-law declared a shocking request. She, James, and my father-in-law expressed their collective disdain for me, questioning the morality of my income and criticizing my personality. They demanded I leave, preferring to live without the financial support I provided, which they now viewed as tainted. Before James even came home from work, this confrontation signaled a clear end to our family dynamic, pushing me towards an inevitable decision about our marriage and my future in the household. Feeling an unexpected sense of relief upon hearing their demands, I realized that my husband's absence signified the end of any emotional connection between us. It dawned on me that I had no obligation to care for these people who failed to appreciate my contributions. That very day, I packed my belongings and sought refuge in a hotel, marking the start of my independence. The discovery of my husband's affair facilitated a swift divorce process, during which I secured alimony, a testament to my newfound assertiveness. I found solace in a one-bedroom apartment, an ideal sanctuary for a fresh start. I shifted the lease of our shared apartment to my ex-husband, effectively severing our household ties. Months later, my ex-husband reached out, seeking a meeting at my new place, a request that made me apprehensive. His arrival, accompanied by my former in-laws, confirmed my suspicions of their desperate circumstances. Amid tears, my ex-husband pleaded for reconciliation, revealing their dire financial straits due to an inability to afford their rent. This predicament left them on the brink of eviction. The root of their woes traced back to my ex-husband's ill-fated venture into the LED import business. His investment in defective Thailand LED lights resulted in a catastrophic failure, compounded by communication issues and contractual ambiguities that prevented recourse. Without the necessary knowledge or preparation, his subsequent attempt to salvage his finances through forex trading ended in disaster, draining his remaining savings. Meanwhile, my ex-father-in-law's venture into the stock market, driven by a similar hope for quick gains, also collapsed, leaving them financially destitute. Confronted with their pleas for assistance, I couldn't help but question the whereabouts of my ex-husband's younger companion, highlighting the irony of their situation. Their fall from grace underscored a harsh lesson in responsibility and the consequences of unwise financial decisions, leaving them in a predicament of their own making, far removed from the stability and support they once took for granted in our shared life. He admitted to losing touch with his younger girlfriend, rationalizing that there was no allure for her to remain with someone who had lost his job. He appealed to me in a desperate bid for redemption, proclaiming I was the one he truly needed and suggesting we remarry. His family echoed his sentiments, apologizing for their past misconceptions and the unjust accusations they had levied against me, particularly concerning my forex trading activities. They expressed regret, hoping for forgiveness and a second chance to restore our family unit. However, I firmly rejected their pleas. Despite their assurances of change, including promises from my ex-husband to remain faithful, my resolve was unwavering. I clarified that any further persistence on their part would compel me to involve the police. They left heavy-hearted and without hope. Their subsequent attempts to contact me, begging for reconciliation, were consistently denied. The fate of my ex-husband and his parents no longer concerns me. I've chosen to sever ties completely. Yet, in the solitude of my continued success as a trader, I felt the stirrings of loneliness. Seeking companionship, I confided in my friend Laura, who has kindly offered to introduce me to someone new. We've arranged to meet this person tomorrow, and I am eager for this fresh beginning, hopeful for what the future may bring. This story is a compelling narrative of personal growth, resilience, and the often harsh realities of relationships and financial dependency. It highlights the protagonist's journey from a place of comfort and complacency to one of independence and self-assertion. From my perspective, the story effectively captures the complexities of modern relationships, especially the dynamics between traditional expectations and contemporary realities. Olivia's transformation from a supportive spouse to an independent individual underscores the importance of self-worth and setting boundaries. Her experience with her in-laws and husband illustrates the challenges of navigating familial obligations and personal ambitions, a conflict many can relate to in today's society. The narrative also touches on the pitfalls of financial mismanagement and the allure of quick, often ill-advised investments. It serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of financial literacy and the consequences of neglecting due diligence. Overall, Olivia's story is inspiring. It shows that even in the face of betrayal and familial pressure, one can find strength and carve out a new path. Her ultimate decision to sever ties with those who do not appreciate her contributions and to seek new beginnings is a powerful message of empowerment and hope.